Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I just finished a simple Cambodian breakfast at my hut. Before leaving for Siem Reap in the afternoon, I plan to visit the National Museum of Cambodia, which is across the street from my hotel. Georges Grosselier, a French historian, curator and author, was the motivating force behind much of this revival of interest in traditional Cambodian arts and crafts. And it was he who designed this building that is today traditional Khmer architecture. It is perhaps better described as a building enlarged from Cambodian temple prototypes, seen on ancient bas reliefs and reinterpreted through colonial eyes to meet the museum size requirements. The foundation stone for the new museum was laid on 15th August 1970. Some 2.5 years later, the completed museum was inaugurated during Khmer New Year on 13th April 1920 in the presence of His Majesty King Susowa. This museum houses one of the world's largest collections of Khmer art, including sculpture, Khmer ceramics, bronzes and ethnographic objects. Its collections includes over 14,000 items from prehistoric times to periods before, during and after the Khmer Empire, which at its height stretched from Thailand across present-day Cambodia to southern Vietnam. Further, the portico that bounds the garden courtyard is notable for its stoneworks, bas reliefs, ornamental door lintels and significant stelae containing Old Khmer as well as Sanskrit inscriptions, most dating from between 6th and 11th century. The museum is equally noteworthy for its impeccable verdant garden courtyard with 4 lotus pools. In the center of the courtyard is a renowned statue of Leper King or Lord Yama, the deity of death according to Hindu mythology. During the Khmer Rouge regime, all aspects of Cambodian life, including the cultural realm, were devastated. The museum, along with the rest of Phnom Penh, was evacuated and abandoned. Out from the museum, I decided to explore some of the Phnom Penh's Khmer street foods. Cambodian street food offers unique and surprising delicacies that are foreign to most visitors. That said, Cambodian street food from Phnom Penh to Siem Reap offers an authentic culinary adventure, a taste of the real Cambodia. Cambodians take their barbecue quite seriously, and with a myriad of options available like crocodile, ostrich, chicken, frog legs, pork, prawns, quail, beef and seafood, your taste buds will have a party. Another classic you will find in Cambodia as well as throughout the rest of Southeast Asia. Wherever you find street food stands, you are likely to find someone grilling skewers of meat. In some of the smaller towns, the choices might be limited, but in places like Phnom Penh, you will find a huge range of items being cooked. If you just want something familiar, you can always find barbecued chicken, beef or pork. But the more adventurous can sample local specialities like frog, snake, crocodile and maybe even more. Street food in Cambodia is not for the squeamish travelers. In Southeast Asia, eating insects is not something new. But for Cambodian, insects are quite special in the famine that happened during the Khmer Rouge time. During this time, Cambodians had to live in forest and it was an insect habitat. Since then, the insect food began to become popular. Insects are cheap but very rich in protein, amino acids and micronutrients, especially for children in Cambodia who are 97% malnourished. Besides that, Khmer women believe that spiders are good for beautifying, making hair thicker and healthier. The most common types of insects that are eaten: crickets, grasshoppers, spiders, cockroaches, worms, storks, ant eggs, cicadas, bee nymphs, etc. They are usually fried, grilled and soaked with different spices. I have tried eating these raw lotus seeds seen everywhere. Gasolin sold in liquor bottles is another common scene around Cambodia. Despite being a poor country, Phnom Penh is known as the Lexus capital of the world. This historic main post office building has a very popular restaurant, and I have decided to have my lunch here before boarding my bus to Siem Reap. I have booked my ticket on this Mekong Express bus, one of Cambodia's fastest growing transporting companies with operations in both Cambodia and neighboring Vietnam. This National Road number 6 goes through Siem Reap city and runs parallel to the Tonle Sap Lake along its northern side shore, connecting Phnom Penh and Bante Minche, a province on the northwest bordering with Thailand. We are now crossing the Tonle Sap River that originates from Tonle Sap Lake near Siem Reap Province. On this route, we will travel through 3 provinces, Kandal, Kampong Cham and Kampong Thom, before finally reaching Siem Reap Province. Another national road number 5 going parallel to this runs through the southern shore of Tonle Sap and connects the city of Battambang with Phnom Penh. After crossing the western end of Tonle Sap, both these highways join together at Sisophon and continues to Thailand through border city of Poi Phet. Tonle Sap is the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia and is considered the heart of Cambodia. There will be 2 pit stops during the journey where passengers can avail restroom facilities and will have access to reasonably good food. Most of these restaurants where the bus stops serves decent food and have clean, well-maintained toilets. Almost every such facility also have free Wi-Fi. Incidentally, this bus too has a complimentary onboard Wi-Fi. 70 kilometers north of Phnom Penh, this province of Kampong Cham is well known for its insect harvesting areas. At the intersection of National Road 6 and 7, there is a town called Sq which is known as Spider Village in the local language. If you hired a taxi between Phnom Penh and Siem Reap, there is no escaping a pit stop there. While traveling on this route, especially at night, one cannot miss these brightly illuminated insect catchers. Insects are caught by a shining blue fluorescent light through a sheet of plastic hung from a bamboo frame. These insects fly towards the light, hit the plastic and drop into a tub of water below. Ice is then poured over the bounty, finishing off any insects that are still alive while keeping them fresh and ready to sell. We have just arrived at the first of the 2 pit stops. Mekong Express buses are owned by a company called Cambodia Asia Travel Company Limited, and on few occasions before, I have traveled with them between Vietnam and Cambodia across the Mok Bai Bavet International Border Crossing. With 85% of the population living in villages, it's mainly an agrarian society who are contented and find happiness in simple things. However, there is a huge contrast when you come to cities. As I hinted earlier, there is a growing population based in cities who leads a flamboyant lifestyle and own super luxury cars. This is very visible in Phnom Penh and to some extent at Siem Reap. Since the fall of Khmer regime in 1979, Cambodian politics has been dominated by Prime Minister Hun Sen and his ruling Cambodian People's Party. Hun Sen's rise has complemented the emergence of a tight-knit elite comprising of CPP ministers, lawmakers and other government officials. The profits of subsequent widespread marketization of Cambodia's natural resources, cheap labor and foreign investments are distributed within this elite, whilst the majority of the population remains bereft of the advantages of economic growth. In brief, while a majority of Cambodians still remain under poverty, a privileged minority enjoys lion's share of the Cambodia's wealth. This is the second food and toilet stop, and I decided to have my dinner here before reaching Siem Reap. One prominent characteristic of Cambodian wooden furniture is that they are massive. Look at the size and heft of these pieces of furniture in this restaurant. On this stretch of National Road number 6, the road widening has just started, and hopefully in the near future, the traveling between the two cities would be more comfortable. Siem Reap is a beautiful small city, which is the gateway to the famous Angkor Archaeological Park, which spreads over 400 square kilometers. We have finally entered the Siem Reap Province and not far from my destination. I have booked my accommodation for the next few days with Thom Guest House, which is a family-run guest house named after the famous Angkorian temple. It's customary of all hotels in Siem Reap to offer complimentary pickup and drop once you have booked accommodation with them. This is the friendly remote driver named SB who has come to pick me up. SB has kept me insulated from the lashing rain. Finally, I am at Thom Guest House. As I need to wake up very early tomorrow, I am going to hit the sack straight away and promise to come back with some very interesting videos in the next few episodes. Till then, au revoir from Siem Reap.